afternoon. Welcome to Winnipeg. Welcome to wintry Winnipeg. Okay, now I picked out a few sprues here, mostly the figures, because they're the ones that they're going to be hardest to get the flashing off the seams and so on. Now I went and I got another sprue here that had a lot of little tiny parts with some very delicate pieces on it. We'll put the macro lens on and looking nice and close. I was realizing that in the last episode in this series, I made a mistake about the decals. I was thinking that it was the numbers that we were going to need. And then afterwards, when I was looking at the video, I thought, no, these numbers are just, in other words, number 41 here is this little meter up here. It's not the 41. Oh boy. This is going to be interesting to see how this goes. Okay, now I don't want to spend a lot of time flapping my gums here. I think what we should do is get our macro lens on, and maybe we'll look at the photo etch first. Now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably use the rotator, and we will move in on a particular area, and then I will try to slowly rotate it around and have my light coming in from the side. And on our photo etch here, I'm going to remove one side of the plastic sheeting. This sheeting seems to be a little bit different. Either that or I'm not going at it quite right here. Now I don't want to accidentally scratch the part. I just want to get this top layer off here. You know what? I'm going to have to do this off camera. I just can't get the right angle here for this. Okay, I finally got it. I was feeling like a bit of a klutz for a minute there. Okay. Now we'll move in and look at some of this stuff. Maybe we'll take a look at this grating here and see what kind of a nice fine detail they did on that. We'll have to be very careful if we're going to be doing any brushing with the brush instead of the airbrush, not to fill that in. Now we got some interesting stuff right here. I'm going to move in and we'll take a look at that. I noticed something really interesting on it. Did you see it too? Now, is it my imagination, or have they made those little bumps, you might say, look like hex nuts? A six-sided nut. Yeah, it kind of looks like it to me. That's pretty good. No, that's detail that we're not going to see. Okay, the photo etch is not too bad here. Let's see if we can find another piece. Okay, let's take a look at the decals. Now the largest decal is obviously the flags. kind of hard to move around here. It's slippery. I'm getting my hands in the light, aren't I? Okay. Oh my, some very small stuff. This might tax my decaling ability. Try and move this in the center of the screen because the center of the screen should be the sharpest here. Yeah. Well, if we can get some of those on. Now down here where the numbers are, you see like right there in the center of the screen, the number 84. Well, I think that little bar to the right of the 84 is actually what we have to put on. Now, I could be wrong about that. There's a lot of that kind of stuff. Okay, we've seen the decals. I had thought that this sub had 2 motors, but I only see one in the boxes. So I guess the one on the side closest to the viewer is not there because it's probably you could maybe only see one at a time anyway. We'll recompose here and take a look at the tops. I think there's probably more like rocker arms and stuff like that are supposed to go on there. Let's just recompose just a little bit here. Now, we're not moved in quite as close as we could get, but sometimes less is more. All right, let's take a look at the sprue that has a bunch of parts on it, and we'll save the figures for last. Now, these are probably the 2 largest pieces on this sprue. Let's take a look at some of the smaller ones. Okay, let's check out the figures. Oh, should we look at a ladder? I'm going to have to recompose here. And for perspective, looks like there's going to be a fair amount of flashing that's going to have to be removed after the you know, the arms and what have you are glued on. Let's just turn this over and see what it looks like on the other side. If I can find it here. And let's turn them over here. This one and this one look like are they the same? No, they're different. They're different. Let's see if we can find some heads here. I know that's not a head, but okay, we did look at that one. All right. I had thought that this one here, and let's see here if I can get it. I think the expressions are very similar on all of them. Yeah. Okay, have we beat this to death now? Oh, here's one that's a little bit different. It's usually around 6 o'clock that we get the first kids coming to the door. And usually by about 8 o'clock, it's over. And then I turn all the lights off, make it look like there's nobody home. And well, we usually don't get any kids after 8 o'clock anyway. But hey, I got to get ready for that. I'm going to develop the film here and see how this came out. I have no idea yet. Being as that I did shoot it in 8K, it's going to be a little bit longer to process, that is. So, but it should be up, and you know, you guys can look at it tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Winnipeg time. Anyway. Thanks for watching, everybody. All being well, we're going to see you tomorrow morning.